Hello and welcome. It's nice to have you with us on the Australian Television Network for our exclusive coverage of the Tooheys 1000 for 1989, coming to you from Mount Panorama at Bathurst. It dawned here another glorious day, as it has done all week. The forecast is for absolutely superb conditions for race day today. It's going to be fine and warm, at least for the outset. They're forecasting a top temperature of about 23 degrees, but the weatherman says there is a late change on the way. Now, how late that is could have an important bearing on this race, because they're forecasting rain, and if that hits at about 2 or 3 o'clock, Mike Raymond, good morning to you, we could have mayhem.
Yes, good morning, Gary. I hope it's not a repeat of 1987, when you recall around about 2 o'clock in the afternoon the clouds just opened and we had an absolute downpour, and they have been talking about that for the last couple of days.
Well, here we have arrived at race day and we're all in pretty good shape, drivers, cars and commentators included. But of course it's a long week here at Bathurst. It's not just one day, the Sunday. I mean, a lot of practice, a lot of miles going to the ridge, a lot of action. Here's Mike.
The early arrivals at Mount Panorama on Tuesday were greeted with Arctic conditions. Thankfully though, Wednesday dawned fine and clear. Dick Johnson setting the pace in unofficial practice, while the rest of the Sierra set just gave chase. There were the normal anxious moments, including this sand-trap special from Kiwi Andrew Bagnall. Gary Wilmington, meanwhile, creased his Supra on the cement. Most of the spins were harmless, save for this hot shot from the Golden Oldies race when Benny Visser upended the trusty Holden, and in yesterday's Tooheys Top 10 when that man Bagnall careered offline and into the concrete. Mountain regulars claim the Tooheys Top 10 shootout was the best Bathurst bash on record. Nobody disagrees. But true to script, the king of the mountain delivered on cue. Here's the green flag. And the Bathurst king goes out after the mountain again. He'll throw plenty into this.
You watch the way that he works. It's just total concentration.
Yet another of the cameras that we have in Peter Brock's car.
Listen to the crowd across here when Brock comes into view. Watching for the split time coming up on the halfway mark for Peter Brock.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, is it good? 1:11.56 at the halfway mark for Peter Brock.
Down through the dipper.
Now, isn't that interesting? That just looks so tidy all the way up there. I was trying to make up my mind whether it was quick or it was slow, but the watchers told us the guy's brilliant round here.
Hurls it out of Forest Elbow. Now he's got Conrad straight as we take the Bob Jane T-Mart's Thunderdome race cam, and here he comes beneath the GIO bridge.
Watching this, very quick through the kink. Peter's an aggressive braker. He really stomps on the car. And he would love to have pole position in the $15,000 that goes with it.
Watch the clock. Will this snatch the prize for Peter Brock? In the 05 Mobil 1 Commodore, he turns it round the corner, lines it up for the checkered flag. The clock's about to stop.
Oh, a 2:15.8. A stunning time from Brock.
Peter Brock, sensational time. Well, the top 10 looks very, very interesting with Peter Brock on pole position. And starting alongside of him on the front row today will be Dickie Johnson, the pride of Queensland. For position number 3 is 25, Tony Longhurst in the Benson and Hedges Sierra, 2:16.98. From 4, car number 10, the ANZ Sierra of Klaus Niedzwiedz with a 2:17.42. 5, 105, Brad Jones in the second, Mobil 1 Sierra, 2:19.09. From 6 is 6, Andrew Madecki, 2:19.88. From 7, 2, Jim Richards, the first in the Nissan Skylines, 2:20.09. From 8:30, Glenn Seaton in the Peter Jackson Sierra, 2:25.2. Alan Jones, our ex-Formula 1 star, from position 9 with a 2:20.63. And starting out of position number 10, 8, Andrew Bagnall.
The Tooheys 1000 is no longer a round of any world or regional championship, yet its magnetism for the international drivers remains undiminished. 24 drivers from 7 different countries have made the trek to Mount Panorama. They're some of motor racing's most colourful characters. That said, you might expect the leader of the pack to be some 25-year-old hotshot playboy from Monaco. Not so.
Here in the deep southwest of England, at the head of the Piddle Valley, is a village best left nameless. But close by, the home of one of England's best-known touring car drivers, Wyn Percy.
the 47-year-old Weymouth garage owner lives a life of complete contrast to his high-speed occupation. From this Mazda dealership, it's a short drive home to wife Rosemary. They met when she too used to compete. But while he continued car racing, she turned her competitive attention to horses and the indoor riding school. This 200-year-old home at Weymouth-on-Sea has been base for one of the world's most successful touring car drivers. 3 British championships, 2 wins in the Spa 24-Hour Classic and runner-up spot in the ETC are just a few of the highlights. This year, Percy continues his long association with TWR and through the Holden racing team hopes to add Bathurst to his impressive record.
Well, I've been fortunate enough with most of the other big touring car races in the world. Bathurst is obviously one of the greatest. It would mean an awful lot to me, and especially to go back in the Holden, which is obviously not expected to win the race through its lack of actual speed.
Without doubt, the European man of the moment is 33-year-old Alain Ferté. The fast Frenchman caused an upset at Le Mans this year with the fastest lap of the race, and the rewards have come thick and fast. A 2-year Jaguar contract already in his pocket. But what of his touring car form? Second in last year's French Championship, British Tourist Trophy winner with Andy Rouse, and 2 victories in the German Championship prove that Glenn Seaton's co-pilot is no slouch behind the wheel of a turbo Ford.
It's very, very happy to drive this car because all the time in Germany, for example, it's all the time because it's very close and it's all the time very, very hard on the braking, hard in the corner. It's very interesting.
What do you get when you cross the 9-time Bathurst winner with the very man who pioneered the whole idea of racing Sierras? The answer must be one of the favourites. England's Andy Rouse this year joins the King of the Mountain, combining 21 years of Bathurst know-how with the backing of these workshops in Coventry, a factory that's produced more than half the world's Group A Sierras. Rouse is a 4-time British champion, and his company has successfully fielded the Labatts and Caliber cars in Britain this year. His arch-rival, and a man with equal claim to the honour of fathering the racing Sierra, is Swiss tuning wizard Rudi Eggenberger. The always astute Allan Moffat believes Rudi's rockets are the solution to a Brock-Rouse problem. Having led the event in '87 and again last year, the ANZ team has doubled its winning chances this time round with the addition of Germans Klaus Niedzwiedz and Frank Biela to drive a second Eggenberger Sierra. Australia is used to the sight of Dick Johnson's cars dominating touring car races. But until this year, it's not something that's spread to the UK. Londoner Rob Gravitt saw Dick's Redbacks as the answer to the all-conquering Rouse cars in the British series. A new coat of paint, and they were just as devastating. Joined by former TWR star Jeff Allen, Gravitt will line up in the second of the Shell Ultra machines.
Bathurst it's all about to be quick, you have to commit to the circuit, and you've got to keep away from those walls as well.
Potential winners don't stop there, with Sweden's Anders Olofsson joining Jim Richards at Nissan and Italian Gianfranco Brancatelli lining up with Kiwi Robbie Francevic. Who knows, maybe '89 will be the year the internationals finally conquer the great race.
New South Wales Premier Nick Groner giving the starting command. Engines now fire up. So stand by Australia, stand by the world. We've got the world's greatest touring car race ready to explode. 163 laps, 1,000 kilometres of action at Mount Panorama. They'll be given fair warning off the lights, and we're not too far off the start.
30 seconds.
There's Alan Grice. Down the grid just a little, car number 15, the FAI Insurance's Commodore. There's race cam from Jim Richards' Nissan GTSR Turbo. We're only about 10 seconds away from the start of the 1989 Tooheys 1000. They're racing, and Johnson lights up the tyres. Brock goes with him, and Long has a brilliant start. Down on the inside, and Brock will win the start. Allan Moffat's car, Klaus Niedzwiedz, will probably drop into third as they go to the first corner and work up Mountain Straight for the first time, but a brilliant start by Peter Brock. Shows the way up towards the mountain as the rest of the field goes through. We haven't had an incident in the first corner. Now they're heading up to the right-hander.
Somebody was out in the dirt halfway up Mountain Straight. There was plenty of rock and roll happening there.
It's Brock in front. Johnson drops into second. Klaus Niedzwiedz is third as they go through the right-hander and work their way up Motorcraft Hill.
Brad Jones right on their tail. Andrew Madecki, Jim Richards.
Madecki pulled to the right then. I think he may have a problem.
Slowing.
Over the top of the mountain, and you'll find it's Peter Brock, still leading from Dick Johnson. Here they come, down towards Skyline.
Some cheers up here for Brock.
Rocky the leader, Johnson second, Niedzwiedz is third. Brad Jones back to fourth place. They are very, very close as they hit the dipper.
Top three cars have pulled away substantially already. There was a bit of a bottleneck in the second group of cars as they went to the right-hander at the end of Mountain Straight.
Down to Toledo Tools' turn. As they exit there, we'll see whether Johnson's going to pull out of the draft and go for it.
Looked like there was some fuel bleeding out of the back of the Johnson car as Dick now pulls to the left-hand side of the road and makes a run down the outside of Peter Brock. Has he got more straight line speed?
They're side by side down Conrod Straight, heading beneath our overhead camera. Johnson puts his nose in front. Brock back to second. Niedzwiedz sits on their tail in third. Once again, Brock closes it up as they hit Caltech's chase. These guys are very smooth and very fast. Beneath the Bridgestone Bridge, coming down to complete the first lap. Crowd already starting to come alive at the bottom of the straight as they see Dick Johnson to lead the first lap.
So it's Johnson, car number 17, Shell Ford Sierra. Peter Brock in second place, being assaulted now by Klaus Niedzwiedz, who has a look on the inside. Fourth, Brad Jones. Fifth, Jimmy Richards. Then we've got Jones, Seaton, the second of the Shell cars, Larry Perkins, Gianfranco Brancatelli and Win Percy.
Here's Klaus Niedzwiedz warming up on the tail of Peter Brock's Mobile Sierra. On the run-up Mountain Straight. You see Johnson's just skipped away a couple of car lengths, heading up to the right-hander. Brock just setting his pace now with Niedzwiedz very close behind.
Lead car running Dunlop tyres, the second car on Bridgestone, the third car on Dunlop. An interesting tyre battle on between these guys, apart from the various configurations that their cars are in, and the yellow flag being shown. And there's the Madecki car stopped underneath the bridge. That's a real shame. It hasn't even completed one lap.
Cheers continue. Dick Johnson this time leading across the top of the mountain.
Let's take a look at the Prima Holidays replay of the start from the cockpit of the GTSR Nissan Skyline of Jim Richards. And look at Madecki's car smoking off the line. Covers his ground to the left-hander. It was all pretty sedate, really. Not too much jostling in the first 3 or 4 cars.
Only problem, I think, was for Madecki. I think those revs might have done some damage.
And you notice that Longhurst really spluttered his way up the early part of Mountain Straight. Something strange has occurred a little bit further up here to Andrew Madecki as they go up to the right-hander at the end of Mountain Straight. You certainly had a lot of wheel spin off the line.
He's about to pull over to the right.
Right there. Something's failed.
That was pretty close. Johnson swings into view through Toohey's turn and across the top of Mount Panorama.
Starting to really work some speed into the car now.
One of the reasons I think Dick might be checking the rearview mirrors is because Peter Brock has gone missing from this leading trio. Niedzwiedz in second place in the number 10 ANZ Sierra. But trouble for Peter Brock. They've got a problem with the rear of the car, apparently. I'm not quite sure what it is, but he came into the pits just a moment ago. They're checking.
The word was vibration in the rear of the car somewhere.
Well, the crew there working on the rear of the car.
Now they're just changing the right rear. It may have flat spotted a tyre, or there may have been a problem with the rim.
So Brocky in the pits, an unscheduled stop quite obviously. Crew on the job. That really put some pressure on Peter to come back through the field.
Well, they've just had a good look around the rear of the car and has now rejoined and is back in 16th position, I make it.
And if you're wondering what's happened to the Kenwood entry of Andy Madecki, didn't complete one lap, unfortunately. Unfortunate mishap for Andy. Let's find out about it.
I thought we were doing fairly well there. I picked up a couple of places going up Mountain Straight, but unfortunately the gearbox appears to have had a malfunction. A brand new gearbox, and it's stuck in 5th gear.
Is the car repairable or not? Are you going to take it back down there and give it one more shot?
Yeah, sure. As soon as we can, we'll get it back down there, and I'm sure it's capable of running as quickly or quicker than anybody in race time.
Thanks for your time, Andrew. Well, it wasn't a broken gear lever, it was a broken gearbox. Yeah. The sources weren't exactly right.
You might be able to make makeshift with a pair of multi-grips with the gear lever, but you can't do that with a broken gearbox. And Longhurst now has made it up to 4th place. So he is really charging back through the field.
But what I'm curious about is why he dropped off to begin with. And
started from 3rd, dropped back to 12th.
Good start, got round the first left-hander okay, headed up Mountain Straight, and suddenly seemed to drop the ball and is now recovering again.
Tony Longhurst continues the chase after John Franco Brancatelli, who's run into problems here. There's smoke coming off Brancatelli.
Oh,
Looks
he's
like
had a shunt.
He's hit something or other.
Now, he sprayed oil all down through the S. Oh, he's lost a wheel. But you could see sheets of oil coming out of the back of that car. I wouldn't like to arrive over there at 1,000,000 miles an hour now. There's the wheel trailing down behind.
That might even bring out the pace car here at Mount Panorama.
Now, I wonder whether the wheels just come off or whether or not he's actually touched something. The front right corner of the car indicates that he hasn't hit anything. Looks like the wheels just come unstuck.
The wheels just come loose and ripped the guard out as it flew away.
Because it looked reasonable as he came over the top of Skyline. There's nothing you can hit there unless it was further back towards Reed Park. Okay, who's this?
Well, it looks like one of the Peter Jackson's here has had a shunt.
Now, I'm only guessing, but I wouldn't mind betting that the oil that's been dropped at the top of the hill sent a few blokes scurrying. Remember that Seaton would have been behind Brancatelli.
And apparently, I understand, Neil, that there's a part of a tyre barrier has been knocked loose across the top of the circuit, so maybe that's how that's all happened.
What do you tell your team manager when you pull in and say, sorry, boss, the wheel's up there, just put another one on? I think they've got a lot of work to do here. Glenn Seaton was running 6th in the race. He's in for a quick pit stop, so he's been able to beat, obviously, Brancatelli into the pits.
Brancatelli was running 3rd when this mishap occurred.
A lot of damage to the panel beating. Can they get it going?
No, I didn't touch anything. Just the tire make the damage.
Let's take a look again on our Prima Holidays replay. Oh, this is Seaton.
Yeah, that's the oil that's done that.
Oh, there's the tyre barrier that we heard was out across the road. Seaton has slammed it. The oil was left there by Brancatelli. So when the wheel's torn loose, it's done damage under the front of Brancatelli's car. He's dropped oil on the track. Seaton's copped it as he came over the top, tried to regain control, but the back has slewed into the tyre barrier.
Holden Commodores of Alan Grice, Larry Perkins and Wynne Percy. So Grice has been the charger of the V8 pack there, having come up from position 19 on the grid. And Perkins is now in position 11. So the Holden Racing Team cars running nose to tail after qualifying 11th and 18th.
Looking pretty good at this moment for the Halon team. Neil Crompton, you'll be pretty anxious to get on over there shortly, will you?
Certainly will be. I just hope that it stays looking good for us. But Wynne's doing a great job at the moment. The car looks to be well settled, and he's made up some ground on Larry. So all things being equal, the plan's unfolding nicely.
Right Honourable the Premier of New South Wales, Mr. Nick Greiner, having his first visit to Mount Panorama for the 1989 Tooheys 1000. Pretty impressive, isn't it?
It is indeed, Gary. It's a fantastic event. I mean, to someone like me who's new at it, it's just overwhelmingly exciting. Right?
Atmosphere at the start, it was almost mind-blowing. The noise, the confusion, the colour, it's fantastic.
Yes. No, it's you can see why people really get addicted to it, and I guess that's what it is. It's almost an addiction, I think.
Here is the number 9 car in the pits. This is the Greg Hansford, Pierre Dieudonné car. That's the first of problems now for the Allan Moffat ANZ team. Was in 5th position. So this Sierra overheating. And looks like one of the Benson and Hedges Sierras, Tony Longhurst, about to head into the pit area. Looks like they may be pushing the car just forward. There's a couple of other guys to do pit stops, or is it going behind the pit wall? And it looks like that is exactly where it's headed. So Tony Longhurst, the defending race champion of the Tooheys 1000, the 88 winner. Overheating problems for a couple of the Sierras. Not for this one, though. Ricky Dickey of Queensland, who continues to lead the Tooheys 1000. Over the top of the mountain now. On his way down to Skyline. Sweeps it out wide. As we take our Dunlop race cam, we believe it won't be too long before Dick heads into the pits. What a capable co-driver he has in Tasmanian John Bowe. Sensational young driver. Runner-up to him in the Touring Car Championship. There's plenty of activity in the pits, and Richard Hay and John Brady are there to cover it for us.
The number 9 car just going again now. A heating problem, was it?
At 97 degrees in the water, and Pierre saw it fluctuate. The telemetry also picked it up, and well, I hope this isn't the beginning of one down.
In the pits, Colin Matthews-Rogers' car. There's our new head cam, as you can see. Guys changing the tyres at point of view camera. The Tooheys 1000 from Mount Panorama at Bathurst, lap 32 of 161. Our race leader now comes into the pits. Bit of a problem there as the second Johnson car was already in, just held him up momentarily. So Johnson out and John Bowe will be in. Richard Hay is down there. Looks like a routine pit stop.
Yes, indeed it does at the moment, Mike. Rob Gravitt has just got into the 18 car. Now Johnson is out of this one. John Bowe is into it. 120 litres of fuel going into the car. All 4 wheels and tyres already onto it. Out of the pits he goes.
In the meantime, Mirage race cam inside the number 2 Nissan Skyline. The car heads from the dipper down to Forest Elbow. That was a top pit stop from Dick Johnson. Able to put John Bowe in the car and still retain the lead. That really does put a bit of a buffer over the opposition and puts the pressure back on the ANZ car with Klaus Niedzwiedz.
Oh, more action in the pits. Peter Brock is back there again. The Motorcraft pit report seems to be a problem now with the front right. Is it just a normal driver change? Andy Rouse taking over the car now. Brock was in 3rd place when he pitted.
He's certainly done it the hard way. Looks like a pad change as well for the Brock Rouse car. No, standing by to do one. So Andy Rouse, Brock certainly has a very capable co-driver in the British champ, and he'll pick up the times very, very quickly indeed. So that was a fantastic effort from Brock.
Brock now in 5th position, dropped only 2 spots on that pit stop. Andy Rouse, of course, now at the wheel.
Car number 16 was up to 6th. Looks like a fairly orderly pit stop for the Holden Special Vehicles team. They're ready to go. So he lights up the tyres. Plenty of traction as he heads down the pit road, and he's back in the race. Take the Bob Jane T-Mark's Thunderdome race cam with Andy Rouse, the British champ. Just trying to settle into the car. He does put some pressure on. They've had 2 pit stops. Johnson has had one, and a flawless one at that.
Well, Johnson's pit stop was so flawless, he came in, changed drivers. John Bowe took over the car, and they returned to the track, still in the lead. And in fact, they continue to lead Klaus Niedzwiedz in the first of the ANZ cars by a margin of 21.37 seconds.
That's a handy buffer at this time of the day. Andy Rouse down to Forest Elbow. Out of Toledo Till's turn. Now onto Conrad Straight. The Nissan team are in. Georgie Fury in the car. Quick way from George.
Fury was in 4th place when he came to the pits. A good stop too. And he's anxious to get back to the fray. Very flashy. Car 3 is in 7th position. That is George Fury, the lead up through BP Cutting. And the Nissan guys will be pretty happy with the way things are going at the moment. George has been running here since 1981. And of course he holds the outright touring car speed record here in a turbocharged Bluebird. This is his 9th start. Best result, 3rd in 1987. And he was 3rd in the Sandown 05 500 just a couple of weeks back. Egypt bring us our driver stats here at Mount Panorama for the 1989 great race.
Well, there's the two Nissans and John Bowe and Dick Johnson's cars. I see not too far back behind them. Nissans running 6th and 7th at the moment. Quarter race distance gone in the Tooheys 1000 lap 40.161 here at Mount Panorama today, and we're following the man they affectionately term as Gricey. Allan Grice has fought his way up through the pack. Gricey behind the wheel, up to 5th in the FAI Insurance's Commodore. That's quite an effort, actually. Commodore's now running 5th with Allan Grice. 9th, that's the Thomas Mazera Larry Perkins car, and in 10th spot, Win Percy and Neil Crompton. So 3 Commodores in the top 10, folks, for those who like to keep an eye on the V8s. They're still about. And we take Dulux Auto Colour Race Cam. Good morning again, Neil.
Hey, mate, how are you?
Not bad. Have you settled in?
Not quite, but we'll get there. I'm having a little bit of trouble just getting a bit of rhythm together at the moment, just getting some pace up, but we'll be right.
All right, we'll let you settle in and come back. Does the car feel reasonably good?
Yeah, she's good, mate, there's nothing quite like a V8, you know.
Tell me about it. 3 of them in the top 10.
We'll be further up than that before the day's out. Don't worry about that, mate.
All right, I'll let you settle in and we'll come back to you in about 5 or 6 laps.
Yeah, no worries.
Thanks, Neil. So the positions really haven't changed. The John Bowe leads the race and Dick Johnson 17 car, number 10, is still in 2nd posse. Back in 3rd spot, the Benson and Hedges car with Tony Longhurst, Alan Jones and Denny Holm.
As they zip across the top, Skyline, appropriately named. Down through the Dipper and the S's. Running 6th and 7th, these 2 cars on the track at the present time, with 43 laps gone in the great race.
Sensational pictures. Put a lap on the Mitsubishi, coming down to Forest Elbow.
Kevin Barth work there with the Mitsubishi.
There's a bit of a speed difference there between the number 2 and the number 3 car as they work Conrod straight.
The number 18 Shell car with Rob Gravitt at the wheel is in the pits for a fairly lengthy pit stop here. Dick Johnson, the race leader, has been in and out very quickly and retains the lead. In fact, not quite sure what the stop was about. It was a quick tyre change. They looked under the bonnet. I don't think they did anything. John Bowe, of course, in that car, the number 17 car. But Gravitt here anxiously waiting and going nowhere for the moment. He's right now, he's away. Rob Gravitt rejoins, but a very expensive pit stop in terms of time for him.
So number 20 was up to 3rd, now rejoins in position 7, and problems now for the car that was running as high as 5th. That's Allan Grice.
Gearbox problem, and we understand one of the pit crew, Grice's pit crew, has burned himself pretty badly trying to work under the car. Oh, there it is in a bag of ice. Cool, calm and collected Neil Crompton heading down Conrod Straight. How you going, Crompton?
I don't know about cool, calm and collected, Wilco. Who's writing your script? Hold on, mate. I just want to go through here without spearing off. Have to be very careful through that part of the track, Gary. It's just a little quick, strangely enough.
Passed that Corolla as if it was going backwards.
Say again, mate?
You passed that Corolla as if it was going backwards.
Yeah, they're not bad under brakes and through some of the turns. They're a bit slow in a straight line, but there's something strange going on here at the moment. The times are terrible.
Yeah?
Yeah, it sort of feels like I've got one tyre that's slightly flat or something strange like that. I've had terrible trouble trying to get the brake bias on the car right. Over the top at Skyline, it feels like a Sherman tank.
You going to make a stop?
No way, bucko.
That was Michael Dowson in that little Corolla.
Sorry, mate, it was Neil Bates.
Neil
so
Bates,
I can
was
still
it?
commentate even here.
Neil, you might have a talk to the next crew chief when you go in about cleaning your windscreen.
Oh, it's shocking, isn't it?
You can never get good service on a Sunday at Bathurst.
No. Anyway, we're going okay. The main thing is to keep going round. And the Commodore will do that all day, of course. That's the beauty of it. It's over here that the thing doesn't feel too flash. Up to fourth and now into Reed Park, and she drifts and bucks and jumps and leaps. You got to be careful you don't touch these mongrel ripple strips.
You finding them a bit of a problem?
Oh, they're lots of fun. See what I mean? Back to third over Skyline. And it's been here that I've been locking brakes all the time, and I don't want to tear my front right to pieces. Second for the Dipper. 2 wheels. Bags of understeer there. Third. And down to the elbow. Trick of a power just to straighten it up. A couple of things that are important in this car are, first of all, the driver, but you have to double the clutch on the down changes because it's what's called a Hollinger gearbox. Pardon me. And you've also got to be careful you don't free rev the engine too much on the down changes, or we won't make the end of the day. I don't think I'll tackle that BM there, thank you.
You drove a BMW last year. Is this more fun?
Can I have an easier question? Barry Perkins and his engineers have done a great job with the thing, and I don't know whether you noticed, but despite all the interest at the front of the field, they've managed to go considerably quicker than the Commodores that have gone here before. So that's a bonus. This is not a bonus.
No, he's giving a bit of strife.
Reel him in up the hill.
That's the Kiwi entry of John Sachs and Graham Lorimer.
The Tooheys 1000 continues at Mount Panorama Bathurst in New South Wales on lap number 56 of 161 circuits. We're following Andy Rouse, British champ, in the Peter Brock Mobile 1 Sierra, car number 05. After earlier problems, they are up to third and can run, I would suspect, this pace all day. Rouse is a noted enduro driver, coming up behind one of the Commodores at the moment. John Bowe, car number 17. He's been out there for a spell now. Still 56 seconds clear of the ANZ Sierra with Frankie Biela at the wheel. And Andy Rouse in Peter Brock's number 5 car. George Fury, Anders Olofsson up to 4th, and the Nissan right behind them. Jim Richards, Mark Skaife at the wheel at the moment. In the first of the Commodores in 6th place, that's Larry Perkins. In 7th spot, it's Neil Crompton. 8th spot was Glenn Seaton coming to the pit stop. 9th spot, Tony Longhurst, and rounding out the 10, Andrew Bagnall.
Motorcraft pit report shows us Klaus Niedzwiedz relieving Frank Biela.
Rudy Eckenberger with his crew there. Good stop. The Biela out, and in goes Klaus Niedzwiedz.
Rocks in.
Busy talking with his team manager. Ready to go. So Peter Brock. A variety of cameras to choose from as far as Klaus is concerned. Toledo Tools race cam. And of course we switch outside, and then we've got bumper cam. He comes up here. This is quite fascinating. The view is sensational beneath the bridge. We'll just follow this for the lap as Niedzwiedz goes across the stripe. A couple of cars ahead of him. Closer to the racetrack here, Gary. John?
No, it's just unbelievably exciting. It really feels like you're in the car. Wheels in those slower cars, doesn't he?
Certainly does. Going past the Mitsubishi. Up to the right-hander. Now the run up Mountain Straight. Watch how quickly he picks these cars up on the run to BP Cutting. Little gap opens up there. The driver moves across. This is where it really is sensational. You get the idea of the wheel speed across the top of Mount Panorama.
Clipping those apexes. Really going close to the walls, don't they?
Certainly do.
Using all the track.
On the run down to Skyline, this is sensational stuff through here. Full tilt, across Skyline, down into the S's. This is what really takes your breath away, even if you just drive around the circuit in a car.
Car number 50. This is the BMW M3 being shared by Brett Riley and Ludwig Finnar. They are the leaders of the 1600 up to 2500 cc class. They're in 17th position on the racetrack, 4 laps down on the race leader at the present time, praying for rain. But leading the class and doing a good job.
Remaining number 20, B&H Sierra.
Still in 7th place, you know, despite all their troubles.
Yeah. Tony's had a run in the car. Alan Jones started off running this car until they had a head gasket problem with Tony's 25 mount. So they're in 7th. And of course, 17, John Bowe continues to lead. That gap open now to 71 seconds. The number 10 car runs in 2nd spot with Klaus Niedzwiedz back at the wheel. Georgie Fury sharing the Nissan Skyline with Swede Anders Olofsson runs 3rd. There has been quite a casualty count here at the Tooheys 1000.
The 25 car, last year's winners, Longhurst out, but Tony sharing the 2nd Benson and Hedges car now. Andrew Miedeke didn't complete the 1st lap. The ANZ number 9 car, Hansford and Dieudonné with an overheating problem. The wheels came off for Brancatelli and Francevic in the 27 Whittaker Sierra. Onslow and Gibbs, unfortunately, no oil pressure, had to retire. Slako and Leeds from WA in the Barbagallo. Esander Commodore failed to make it past the halfway mark. Murray Carter forced to retire under threat of a big fine for an illegal tyre change. The 31 car, the Toyota Team Supra, which made its debut here, inauspicious, I'm afraid, for John Smith and Drew Price. The Wacker and King Commodore also has exited the race, and the 2nd Supra entry of Gary Wilmington and Tom Watkinson.
Yeah, drama for Peter Brock here. The back right-hand wheel nut is locked on. Those huge pneumatic spanners trying to get it off, and they've had now 3 of them onto it, just taking them off in succession, and it's locked on good and tight at the moment.
It's major drama there for Peter Brock. The car was up to 3rd.
Won't be much thread left when they do get it off.
No, there won't be. There's no 2nd car to fall back in for this one either, but the 105 car. So Peter Brock just sits there. This was to be number 10. They're still working away, Peter. Must be a terrible feeling to have worked it up into 3rd and just be sitting here in the pits and watching them go by.
Yeah, it's not what I'm paid to do, but not much we can do about it at the moment. I just have to sort of keep it cool and get out there and sort of do the job. The guys finish the pit stop. They were changing these wheels the other day at about 9 seconds. It seems it's about 9 minutes at the moment.
Time now for a Prima Holidays replay. Let's have a look at this. The feeling this is the Kevin Waldock car. Yes, spinning it, coming over the top of Skyline. And how close was that for the 20 car? Ooh, parked it right out in front. It's the Tony Longhurst number 20 car. And also the Nissan now going around the outside. Kevin Waldock, Brian Thompson car. That is not the place to park. They got the wheel off now. They've got plenty of metal and shavings around it as well. Do a filing job on that. The groove. To try and get the centre lock to catch. But that is just going to cost several laps. It would be almost impossible to come back from there. It's, in fact, dropping down now. The 5 car is back to 10th, leaving the Bowe Johnson Sierra at the front of the field. The Klaus Niedzwiedz Moffat car in second, George Fury in third.
Oh, goodness me.
We've got one on fire.
M3, 56.
Driver's out.
Oh, that is really a mess.
The New Zealand entry, that's Sachs and Lorimer.
The driver is out, as Neil had mentioned there, running back down the hill. Was second in the class and 18th outright.
I understand they're trying to put a new hub on this wheel of Brock's car. Not an easy task to undertake in pit lane, Neil Compton.
It's a real nightmare for the boys. So they're putting new locating lugs on the hub at the moment.
Problems here for Elaine Furte in car number 35, the Peter Jackson Sierra.
It's a tricky manoeuvre. Gary Wilmington gets through.
That's a really dangerous spot.
Oh, the marshal shouldn't be... Well, he's not going to push him out of the way there.
No, if I would, I'd get out of the way in a big hurry, because when you come over there, there's just no way you can stop the car drifting. I'm sure there'd be double yellow flags out there, but...
35 was running 8th with Allan Furte at the wheel.
Anxious pit crew members. Oh, this is...
awful!
Bagnall goes through.
I guess there's two evils there. Leaving a car there is also extremely dangerous, but gee whiz.
Glenn Seaton, look at the look on his face.
Says it all. It's off the racing line through there, but the way they got it off the racing line. And again, they had the yellow flags out. That's really relying on drivers' concentration. Well, Peter Brock's woes continue. Johnny Brady now with his mechanic, Graham Brown.
Well, Graham, the car's gone out the back. Is it out of the race now? Yes, mate, it is, yes. What exactly was the problem with it? Obviously, first the nut welded on. What went from there?
Well, I think the problem started right from our very first time that Peter came into the pits. That with a loose wheel nut started to damage the hub itself, and then in turn, as more stops have occurred and we've kept running nuts on and off that hub, it has damaged the bore to the point now where it's just saying, I give up, I don't want any more.
At 100 of 161, there's your race leader, Dick Johnson, car number 17, the Shell Sierra, heading back down Conrod Straight and holding quite a gap now on the 10 Klaus Niedzwiedz car, which just came in for a very quick pit stop. Has gone back out again with Klaus still in the wheel. Also at the same time, Jim Richards taking over from Mark Skaife, holding down third still, and in fourth, the second Nissan, George Fury, Anders Olderson. In the two Commodores, Alan Jones and Rob Gravitt and Jeff Allen, and the second of the Johnson cars running in 8th.
Car number 50 is in 9th position on the track and is also leading the 1600 to 2500 cc class. Car number 50, of course, Brett Riley, Ludwig Finnar. On our Prima Holidays replay coming up, you're going to see the class leader in the under 1600 cc category about to lose that position. Mike Dowson, Neil Bates sharing the drive in this car in Toledo Tools Turn, formerly Forest Elbow.
It was a good save.
Was a good save, but he better get out of there in a hurry.
Was in position 23. The Palmer Tubules car, our race leader Dick Johnson, car number 17, beneath the Bridgestone Bridge, and Jimmy Richards still sitting there behind him. Very, very close. Dunlop race cam along the pit straight, and the second of the Johnson cars is in the pit area at the moment. Rob Gravitt steps into the car. Jeff Allen is out, and the 18 car has been up to 8th place, so fairly well-organised pit stop here. I know what Dick's had in his rear mirror for the last 5 or 6 laps, and that's the front of this Nissan. I don't think Jim could get any closer. There's another little look here on the inside. Ducks back in again.
Looking over the top 10, interesting breakdown. 5 Sierras, 2 Skylines, 2 Commodores, 1 BMW. Let's go to John Brady now with Larry Perkins.
Yeah, the man behind one of those Commodores just getting his breath back after a change. Larry, you're keeping the Sierras honest at the moment.
Well, we're still going. That's the pretty main thing in a long-distance race.
I've just come off a stint where I chose some harder tyres, which was a mistake, and I lost a fair bit of time in that, but that's the way it goes.
Steve Williams finding out just how long pit lane really is.
Oh, is it what? Imagine after doing a stint then having to push it home. Of course, he can't receive outside assistance until he gets it into his pit bay.
Wouldn't be so bad if you didn't have to steer it as well.
That's right. Was 23rd when it came into the pits.
He's a competitor, of course, in the 1600 to 2500 cc category.
One of the guys ran down, wanted to help him. The official was very quickly on the spot to tell him that not to touch the car. You just need a guy behind you telling you to keep pushing harder. You'll eventually get it to that pit bay, but I think he's just about had it now. There's a hell of a job to ask anyone to do a driving stint, then try and push the car up the pit road.
Meantime, Colin Bond, need I say, is in the pits. He's been there most of the day. Richard Luck for the Caltex entry. High hopes they had after a third-place finish here last year. He's had it. Out on his feet almost, but not about to give up, Steve Williams. Dick Johnson into the pits. Dunlop race cam shows you the action as he comes in for a change.
John Bowe ready to step into the car. Dick steps out.
Very proficient crew, just edged out by the Mobil 1 team in the SO pit stop competition.
'17 with John Bowe at the wheel, rejoins still in the lead position.
Well, they've needed a 5-minute pit stop to lose the lead.
Yep. That's the John Cotter, Peter Dillman BMW BM3, second in class and 16th outright. That's quite a good effort.
Peter Dillman, I think we mentioned before, local Bathurst boy, now in Sydney, in engineering down there. John Cotter, a solicitor from Parramatta, enthusiastic, the pair of them, rookies at Mount Panorama. This is their first outing here.
Tell you what, they've done well. Doesn't look like they've had tremendous trade support.
Largely unsponsored.
Yep.
Peter Dillman from a family of 10.
Well, that's one BMW that's looking pretty hot. Here's one that, according to our Prima Holidays replay, had a little less. 57.
That's the car that was running third in the class at the time.
He's had a straight ahead there, but he's missed the concrete and the start of the wall out of there.
Well, that's the second Sachs team entry from New Zealand, so one of them's caught fire, and this one's in the wall. Coming down to Caltex chase. Gaining on Dick Johnson at the rate of about a second and a half a lap. Let's go over to the pits now. Richard Hay about to talk with Dick Johnson.
Dick, a good pit stop. Things are running fine for you at the moment.
Cross me fingers. I just hope everything's okay. It appears to be okay. We're just trying to stroke the thing around. You know, we're not really interested in breaking lap records at this point in time. We're just running very low boosts and just staying, you know, that little bit in front of Moff.
How much have you dropped the pace by now?
Oh, from when I first went out, 6 seconds a lap, which is a fair hunk.
What is it about the cars this year that's made them suddenly so reliable? We've watched the other Sierras going out with head gasket failures, but not a problem really for the shell cars.
Don't say that, pal. You put the curse of the black jelly bean on me and I'll break your eyes.
And I think it'll be just terrific for all our viewers throughout Australia, particularly in Tasmania, to hear from John Bowe. Can you hear us, Johnny?
Yeah, mate, I can hear you. I'm trying to sort of press on a bit because the car's dropped its boost. It's only got about 1.5 bar or something. There's not much I can do about it.
Well, the ANZ car's only about 32, 33 seconds behind you, JB.
Wilco, I'm very aware of that. There's just not much I can do about it. I'm going as fast as this thing will go. And the car itself's perfect. It just hasn't got any grunt.
Yeah.
watching this and watching you on race cam, wishing you the best.
Yeah, it's very nice, isn't it? I hope the thing stays together and we can get it home, because I've been second last year with Dick and second the year before with Glenn Seaton, and quite honestly, I'm sick of going second.
You don't make a good bridesmaid, Bowe.
You're not wrong, mate, honestly. Geez, well, I wish it had some power, though. It's flat out getting out of there.
No indication what the problem is.
You'll have to ask Nick. I'm just the driver.
All right, mate, I know you've got to get on and try and cut some pretty smooth laps, so off you go, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks, mate. See ya.
Okay. There's little George. Anders Ollison, the Swede, steps out of the car, and the Tal Malmo farmer from New South Wales, George Fury, steps aboard.
Larry Perkins also in the pits.
Our special crew cam that you could see there. George is ready to go. He's had a break. And they are looking very, very sharp indeed, the Nissan GTSR turbos. Running in third and fourth spot. George Fury goes back to rejoin the race. Bit of telltale smoke there from the number 10 ANZ Sierra. Yes. Bit hazy in the cockpit as well.
He's got a problem here. Maybe it's oil leakage onto the exhaust, which would probably account for the smoke under the rear of the car and for the fact that it's getting up into the cockpit. Closing the gap now as they come into Caltech's chase.
It wouldn't surprise me to see the 10 car back in the pits if they have got a problem. Is he going to make a run down the inside here or the outside this time, because Grice is going to the pits? No, he's not.
And Niedzwiedz
just did the right thing.
And Niedzwiedz is going to stay out there as well for as long as possible. Look at Dick Johnson.
He looks 10 years younger.
He sure does. The 18 car of Johnson's is now in the pits. And I would think that the Moffat Sierra team would have been monitoring the last couple of laps that we've shown with that tyre perhaps rubbing on the guard. Let's go to our boys in the pits.
Down here in the Eggenberger Moffat pit, they don't actually know quite what the problem is. I was just speaking to a couple of the people here, and they said, well, it seems to come from the exhaust, but some people say it's a tyre.
I thought it was exhaustive. Well, 10, of course, pitted in second place, retains second, but look who's gaining on him. About to put a lap on him if he can, and that's John Bowe. Let's go to the pits now, and John Brady is with Dick Johnson.
Well, Dick, that certainly put a bit of a smile on your face. Things looking a bit better.
I don't tell you, I'm not smiling until 161 laps come up. I can tell you, it's never over really till the fat lady sings, and I haven't even heard us crank up yet.
John Cotter and Peter Dorman in car 52, the BMW M3. They're now in 15th place outright, and they are leading their class, the 1600cc to 2500cc category. They've had a few misadventures in that class, the 50 car, the 57 car, the New Zealand entries. One of them into the wall, one of them on fire. But this largely unsponsored car of Cotter and Dorman has circulated without a problem all day. He's got a problem at the moment because he's got Klaus Niedzwiedz all over his back and Tony Longhurst as well. But he does the right thing and moves over. He's shooting for a class win, obviously, but 15th outright would also be a very creditable performance.
Here comes John Bowe into the pits, a very critical pit stop for John.
Fuel only, we're told, no driver change. Dick not getting in the car for the last stint.
Just waiting for all that fuel to go in, and he'll be underway. Perfect pit stop for Johnny B. And there's Dick taking it all in. His boy out there running strongly in the number 17 car, doing everything right. Jimmy Richards sharing with Mark Skaife, and Jim's straight through there on the inside of the Golson car as he heads up Mountain Straight. Been very impressive today, Peter, the performance of the two Nissans.
Yes, and there's Freddie Gibson sitting back there with, well, he looks quite satisfied with the day's outing. I see Paul Beringer there beside him, also from Nissan Special Vehicles. they're very well organised people. They've got, I think, probably the best balance for a team that we've probably got in Australia at the moment. It doesn't matter if it's long distance races or sprints. They've got the cars really going along there all day, every lap. They've got good drivers, and they've got a great sense of humour. They're good fun people to be around too.
The Dick Johnson, John Bowe, Shell Sierra leading the pack. Klaus Niedzwiedz second, and Frank Biela. In the ANZ Sierra, behind them Jim Richards and George Fury and the two Nissans. How much does this mean to you personally, John?
Well, I suppose it's every motor racing person's dream to win Bathurst. I suppose having come second in the last 2 years, you sort of get a bit sick of coming second. I came second in the Gold Star behind Alfie Costanzo a few times, and I got a bit sick of that.
I just want to get your reaction when you see this one lap to go board.
Gee, that sun's bad, you can't see.
There was a lovely little sign there that said last lap, John.
Yeah, I know, wouldn't it be?
Dick, it is going to happen. You are going to win this one with JB. Here comes the crowd reaction to John Bowe driving the Dick Johnson Shell Sierra across the top of the mountain for the final time. Down to Skyline. And John's actually got the hand out the window acknowledging the cheers. That's quite a feeling, John, isn't it?
It's incredible, isn't it? The guys that were barracking for Brocky this morning and were booing us, they're even clapping. Fantastic.
All you got to do is keep breathing.
We started our telecast at 10 this morning with the great race. John Bowe leads us into the last corner. JB, how does it feel? You're the Tooheys champion for 89.
Unbelievable. Fancy doing that.
You've done it.
That's incredible, incredible feeling.
Congratulations to you from all the viewers around Australia today. And Dick Johnson has actually broken into a big smile. About to take the checkered flag now is Klaus Niedzwiedz, second place in the Tooheys 1000. And of course, third will go to Jim Richards and Mark Skaife for Nissan. Fourth place to George Fury and Anders Olofsson, also in a Nissan. The form finish for third and fourth.
Actually, it probably hasn't sunk in yet, but I'm sure it will very, very shortly, over a couple of nice beers.
Mate, the monkey's off your back. You always had to put up going the full distance. What's it feel like to get there?
Well, for those who reckon we couldn't do it, we've done it.
What about watching John go over the line? I know you're close. Was that hard, though?
Mate, he's a fabulous partner, fantastic crew. We've got a really, really good crew. They've been tremendous all week, all year. And we've got a great bunch of sponsors, and like everything just went our way today, and I'm glad it had to happen sooner or later.
The chant goes up here at Mount Panorama. They led every lap. They've set a new race record for the Tooheys 1000 in 1989. John Bowe and Dick Johnson.